Here's how I make the crispiest oven-baked chips. First you need to wash a kilo of Morris Piper potatoes under cold water. We're making skin on chips so you won't need to peel them. King Edward's or russet potatoes will work as well. Next, cut your potatoes into chips that are around 1.5 centimeters thick. Try to cut them as uniform as possible so that they cook evenly. Once you've cut your chips, chuck them into a pan, then give them a really good wash under cold water. And once the water is running clear, let the chips soak for at least 30 minutes. This helps remove some of the starch from the potatoes, which will make the chips even crispier. Whilst the chips are soaking, we can make our homemade rosemary salt. To do this, finely chop 1.5 tablespoons of fresh rosemary leaves, then add into a blender with 3 tablespoons of sea salt and a teaspoon of garlic granules. Give this a blend until you get a coarse powder. We'll be using this to season our chips later on, so we can set it to one side for now. This does make more salt than you'll need for your chips, but it will keep for several weeks in an airtight container. Next we need to get our tray of fats ready for when we cook the chips. To do this, place 75 grams of duck fat and 75 grams of vegetable oil onto a large tray and set it to one side. Now at this point we also need to preheat an oven to 210 degrees Celsius or 410 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we need to parboil the chips. To do this, cover the chips with fresh water, then add in 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar and a good pinch of salt. Set the pan over a high heat and bring the water to the boil. Once the water is boiling, turn the heat down slightly, then simmer the chips until they are just starting to soften. This will take around 10 minutes. I like to give the chips an occasional stir to break the edges up slightly. These will crisp up nicely in the oven, like when you make roast potatoes. Whilst the chips are simmering, place the tray of fats into the preheated oven and leave to get smoking hot. Then when the chips are ready, drain them through a colander, then leave to steam dry for a minute or so. Next, take the tray of hot duck fat out of the oven, then carefully add in the chips. Make sure to do this carefully as the fat will be really hot. Now we need to spread the chips out so that they're in a single layer, and then we season them well with some of our rosemary salt. We place the chips into the oven, then bake until they become golden brown and crispy all over. This will take around 45 minutes. Halfway through cooking, we need to take the chips out of the oven, then carefully flip them over. This just helps cook the chips evenly. Make sure to do this gently so that you don't break them. I find that a slotted spatula works best. Once your chips are golden brown and crispy, you need to drain some of the fat off, then transfer them to a large mixing bowl ready for seasoning. I find that a slotted spoon or spatula works best. Season the chips with plenty of rosemary salt and then serve straight away. And that's how to make a batch of crispy oven chips that are cooked in duck fat and seasoned with rosemary salt.